makeover miracle. Next.
Welcome to the show. Welcome up. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Get excited. Welcome. Come over here. All right. I want you to stop for a moment and look around what we got here. Everything that you take granted in your home, it's right here. After today's show, you may never see them the same way again. When I tell you you may be living in a toxic waste dump, don't take it personally. Products you use every single day could be polluting your home and putting your health in danger. Today, I'll show you what to look for and reveal safe and simple ways to cook and clean house. First, I want to bring in Dr. Gary Ginsberg. He wrote a book on deadly chemicals that are all around us. It's called What's Toxic and What's Not. So, Gary, thanks for joining the show.
Thanks for having me.
Talk to me a little bit about what these concerns are about toxic products.
Well, we like to think that our consumer products are adequately tested, but the reality is that as soon as we get many of these products out of the supermarket, into the parking lot, into our homes, they actually become a hazardous waste. The chemicals in there are too toxic for the environmental officials to want them into landfills or into incinerators or down the drain. If they're that toxic for the environment, what are they doing in our houses?
Yeah, let me underline that. If we're not supposed to throw them down the drain, while we're using them in our homes. So let's start off with the heart of the house, the kitchen. And you may have read on the internet that there's a lot of buzz about the dangers of granite countertops, right? Granite's in all of our houses. The question is, do they really emit toxic radiation? So let's join Lindsay, who's here with Stanley Liebert, who is an expert on toxins in the home. And Lindsay, you got granite countertops, I understand, right? I have a picture of your granite countertop. If you don't, is that yours? Is that yours?
It is.
Looks familiar?
Yes.
And do you have kids?
I do.
How many kids do you have?
I have one, a little girl. She's 2.
All right. So the concern here is about radon. It's a naturally occurring gas in the earth, and it's emitting from the granite. Something many of you don't recognize is that radon is the #2 cause of lung cancer in Americans. And after smoking, it's #1. And the thing that worries me is not just for the smokers, but the average person, children, especially fetuses. So Stan, how do we check for radon in our granite counters?
Well, actually, there are test kits are available through the retail markets. There's essentially a sampler that follow the instructions, and it'll check the radon levels that may be emitted from granites or in the basement, for that matter.
Okay, you got this Geiger counter here. What's that about?
Well, essentially what we're looking at is not only does some granites produce radon, but we're also looking at radiation, and that's the gamma radiation.
Can you all hear this? So that's pretty hot.
Actually, it is. In this particular sample, that's producing about 500 milligrams a year if you were exposed to it 4 hours a day. So that's a significant amount of radiation.
So we had an expert take one of these devices into Lindsay's home, and we actually checked to see whether you have too much radon. Do you have this, or do you have something that's a bit calmer, a little less aggressive? And we found actually that you had 0.3 picoliters per liter, which is up there listed. That's, by the way, a very safe number. That's about 1/10 of what the government says is safe in our houses. So, Stan, if you've got a concern about radon on your countertops, I guess it's a pretty real one or not?
Well, in this case, you're looking at something that's less than outside air. Wonderful. In the case of this counter, an oncologist said he'd have that removed from his house. He wouldn't have it in his house.
Oncologists would have it, and cancer specialists would have it taken out of the house. Very good feedback. Stan, Lindsay, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure having you on. You can come back over here. So, Janice, come join me. Oh, you brought your favorite nonstick pan.
I did. I did.
Now, do you notice anything over here, by the way?
I see it smoking.
Did you all see this? You may have noticed it. So at the beginning of the segment, I just tossed it on there. For you, actually. Okay. And I didn't think about it much because I was talking about radon in the granite, which was concerning me. This is remarkably toxic. Because when you, and some of us periodically do this, and I'll put this over here, when you actually put a already coated pan on top of a burner and leave it on your stove and don't think about it because you make a phone call to the kids, you get preoccupied with something else and it begins to steam like that, you're actually melting those particles out into the air. These nonstick pans are coated with something called perfluorinated chemicals. But these PFCs they're commonly present in plastics. They keep the food from sticking to the pan. And guess what? 98% of us have these in our blood. So it's already in us. The question is it important? Well, it turns out that these block estrogens and other hormones in our bodies from working normally. And so it tends to affect fertility rates in women, and for that reason we are a little bit concerned about these PFCs. And I bring this on your radar screen because it's one of the major dangers. You know, we all know about chipping of the pans that are nonstick, but most of us don't realize the bigger danger may actually be the steam coming off it if you're cooking it without having some real food inside. So Gary, how real are these problems? Is that really a worry?
Yeah, well, when you overheat these pans, it doesn't take very long, and that fume is very irritating to our lungs. And also, you know what, if you have a pet bird in the kitchen, birds have died from the overheating of a single nonstick pan.
You're kidding.
The manufacturer, on their website, the manufacturer of these products say keep your pet bird out of the kitchen. It's the classic, you've ever heard of the canary in the coal mine?
Yes.
So that they knew when there wasn't enough oxygen down there for the coal miners?
Yes.
This is a classic canary in the kitchen. And you know, Dr. Oz, I brought my own nonstick pan with me that I figured I'd bring it on the set. And this is anodized aluminum. It has none of the perfluorooctanates in it. And this will not off-gas anything. I can heat it to my heart's content. And it doesn't scratch, it doesn't off-gas, doesn't fume, and it works great, nonstick.
So what do you think, Janice? You willing to switch?
Well, I just bought mine recently, but
$25.
Oh, okay.
It's really not very expensive.
Janice, thank you very much. Thank you. You know, keep Gary's pen. It's only $25. All right. Gary, to stay up here while you're here. Evelyn, please join us. So, Evelyn, thank you. You can stand right over here. Sure. So we're heading to ground zero for toxic chemicals in the house. A lot of you may realize this, and a lot of you buy products just like these. Now, do you recognize these products?
Yes, I do.
You know, they're pretty polluting, these products. You know, and you add them, by the way, to all kinds of other products in your home, which can cause lots of problems. So, Evelyn, so you look at this right now, and you're looking at her cleansers under the sink. Do any of these raise a particular concern for you?
This particular one, because it doesn't list the ingredients. This one per se.
Very smart of you to notice that. So, Gary, what phrases should we be looking for?
Well, if you look at the hazard warning signs, the danger signs, things like avoid inhaling vapors or fumes, keep children and pets out of the area, only use with adequate ventilation, keep off your skin because it may damage your skin or your eyes. These are indications that there's really irritating and hazardous ingredients in there.
By the way, the atom bomb cleaning mistakes, which we can make without even thinking about it, is to combine bleach. Do most of you have bleach in your home?
Sure.
Right? And a lot of you have ammonia, right? Yes. You put those together, you've actually created one of the most toxic chemicals used in chemical warfare in the First World War.
Wow.
Right? It is impressively.
Chlorine gas.
Chlorine gas is actually this stuff, isn't it? No, here it is. And something like this. You know, Gary, you look at these things. I mean, you can't even read. Can you read these ingredients? You probably can't.
This material, this product is so irritating that it will damage the enamel and porcelain in your bathroom. You can imagine if you got it into your lungs.
Yeah, and there's a lot of chemicals here you're not going to be able to pronounce, even if you could read them, which is part of the reason I show them to you. So it takes us out of our safe zone. I think these are the kind of things we can avoid. So the question then becomes, what else are you going to use? Well, Gary, besides being a wonderful author, is also very ingenious in coming up with solutions. So I want to hear about the safe cleanser you've got. So let's come on over here, Evelyn. So this is actually a recipe. I want you to get out a pen and paper. Jot this down. It's pretty straightforward. Everybody can make this. It's super inexpensive. You're going to do the hard work of actually mixing it, just in case it is toxic.
These are all...
Okay.
These are all common ingredients you'll have in your house. They're easy to find at the supermarket. Nothing you have to order from some specialty company. So we're basically taking a tablespoon of borax you can find in the laundry aisle of the supermarket, 3 tablespoons of regular old vinegar, and that's going to mix together and dissolve the borax. We're going to pour in 2 cups of water. Again, regular old tap water, nothing special here. Into a nice bottle. You know, we're not using a lot of packaging here, and so it's a very green thing to do, to cut down on the amount of packaging, much more inexpensive. You can see it's foaming. Give it a little shake. Okay. Very good. And now you add a little bit of the dish soap. We're talking about 1 tablespoon of regular old dish soap, and that helps with the cleaning power. And then if you want, you know, a lot of the products you'll get are over too much fragrance, and that could be irritating for some people. You can just put in like a little drop of some essential oil. So we're using peppermint oil today to just get that fresh cleanser smell to it. Put in as much as you like, and then let's put the cap on, the pump bottle, and see if it works. All right, now, shake it up a little bit more.
Okay.
Give it one more shake.
Now, we've gotten this dirtied in a way that a lot of times would be frustrating. You know, if you try to clean it off.
It works. It works just right to do. It's not toxic.
So, you know, it doesn't come off, they're not coming it off at all without anything. So let's just even get it off with the cleaner. Feel like I'm making a commercial here. Watch how easy it is. Oh my goodness. But it actually works effectively, and it's been used in comparison to other products, and actually compares very well. All right, can you all see me now? I want to thank Dr. Gary Ginsberg and Evelyn and all of our guests. Thank you very, very much. It was really appreciated.
Thank you so much, Doctor.
We'll be right back.
Next, a wife, mother, and career soldier.
I just felt like being in the Army was what I was supposed to do. In that moment, my life was changed forever.
A story of unbelievable courage.
And I'd gladly do it again if I had to.
Renita, I'm Tim Gunn.
A Dr. Oz exclusive.
I don't have the adequate words to express how moved I am by being with you.
Her strength will inspire you.
She's a remarkable person.
And her transformation.
Staff Sergeant Renita Gray
will make you stand up and cheer. That's coming up.
بالآلاف اشتركوا وتقدموا بمواهب متعددة. ينتظر مواهبكم الغريبة، المجنونة، الفريدة، المميزة والجديدة. الفرصة مفتوحة والكل بانتظارك. إنها فرصتك. شارك الآن.
You keep your legs right in,
your long sleeves out, your skin is dry and dreary so you don't let it come out.
And that's what your body shouts.
New Dove lotions. For skin that feels so good, your body language shows it. They don't just work here, but here. No other lotion goes deeper. For long-lasting, soft, smooth skin.
Shoulders back, your knees come out, and you shake it all about.
Introducing new Dove Nourishing Body Lotions.
It's a cold and crazy world that's raging outside. But baby, me and all my girls are bringing on.
النساء في ستيرلينغ كوبر مستعدات لإثبات وجودهن أمام دون دريبر.
I'm breaking a lot of my rules, saying a divorced man. Really?
في الشركة.
Well, that's very exciting.
وفي حياته الخاصة.
You'll be married again in a year.
What?
I won't even tell people after it's aired.
ماد مان الليلة 11 KSA على MBC 4.
I'll say it time and again. The real stars of this show are people who commit their bodies and soul to turn their health around. You're about to meet a woman who's doing just that, all while dealing with a devastating injury. She's a wife, a mother, and a soldier. And I'm humbled by her story. But I'll let her tell it.
My name is Staff Sergeant Renita Gray. I'm married and I am the mother of 5 children. I have been in the Army for 20 years. My intention was to go to the Army for a couple of years and then go to college, but I decided to stay in the military. I just felt like being in the Army was what I was supposed to do. As a mom deploying, that's probably the hardest thing for me. It makes my heart feel torn. I deployed 4 times. The first time was to Saudi Arabia. The next 3 were to Iraq. On June 23rd, 2009, while on a routine mission, a roadside bomb hit our convoy. I lost my left leg in the explosion. In that moment, my life was changed forever.
After the explosion, Staff Sergeant Gray was stabilized and transported to Walter Reed Army Hospital in Maryland for treatment. Since then, she's had 5 surgeries and months of intense rehabilitation. I wanted to give this soldier a much-deserved break, so I asked Core Team Oz member Tim Gunn to pay her a surprise.